how do you sense the energy of the people around you to make sure that they are deeply in alignment with what you're trying to do? Happy New Year, beautiful people. This is the year of actualization, the year of productivity, the year where we get our lives together. And when you see me sitting in front of your screen, know that I'm about to throw some gems your way so that you're able to propel yourself into the life that you deserve. You have to be very mindful that as human beings, we really live different lives under different influences, and we go through different energy or spiritual attacks, if you believe into that, in that type of thing. So even when you're in a workplace, you shouldn't just focus on the qualifications and the skills that that person has. You have to be also mindful that this is a spirit having a spiritual experience. So therefore, in the ebbs and flows of life, they're going to go through some spiritual things that at times make them aligned with the organization, and at times misaligned with the organization, or even just the team. Could be alignment with the organization, but misalignment with the team. And even in your home, in your families, in your relationship, there's a lot of that. And in this video, we are trying to delve in deep into how do you put systems into place that help you navigate sensing the energy of a space, the energy of the people, and making sure that you really deeply fine tune it into the frequency that you feel you want. So before I get into that, okay, not before I get into that, let me really just get into it because it's very much necessary. I'm very passionate about people performing very well. I'm very passionate about spirituality, about energy, about self-care. And I share these things because I want all of us to deeply elevate to the place of actualization where we are so fulfilled by our lives. One of the things that I have observed about just sensing of energies is literally plants. You have to have plants in your home, in your office, not for the purpose of just circulation of air and them giving oxygen into the space, or just how aesthetically pleasing they are, which also increases the vibration of your space or increases the energy of your space. But also, what the plants can do is deeply communicate if everyone in the space is energetically aligned, or if your space is conducive to the type of energy you want. And I had this experience recently. In my space, there was a plant that was hanging on top of one of the shelves. And this plant was just deteriorating. Contrast to last year, where at the same period of time, well, the previous year, same period of time, this plant was thriving. And now all of a sudden, it's the same month, different year, same kind of weather, but the plant was just, it was failing. And I thought, oh, maybe it's not getting enough water. Oh, maybe it's not surviving. So I just ignored it. Then the second plant started having a same experience of dying. And the plant is right here because when I talk about these things, my best friend says I am being overboard, but I know what I know. And I have been spending a lot of years just studying African spirituality, observing the world, and reading a lot. And I've now, after 5 years, just gotten to a knowing, and I want to share that knowledge with the world. So this is the plant, the second plant. And as you can see, the top bit of this plant, it literally just doesn't have any leaves. And it started growing leaves recently. And we'll get to what the change was. But contrast, I thought, oh, it's a plant. And maybe it's the season for it to shed leaves. But then I went to my friend's house who lives in the same compound as I, an apartment downstairs to me. And this is her plant. Look at this. It was just growing. I was like, are you giving it steroids, fertilizer? What is this? And I don't even think she takes care of plants as well as I do. I don't think she waters them that much. No shade to her, but you know, props to her because her energy is good, or the energy of her space is so great that the plant is thriving. So now I had to do, thank you very much, I had to do a deep overhaul. I literally decluttered the space heavily. And that's one of the ways that you can increase the energy of your space. Just declutter, and make sure that there's nobody around so that they don't affect the frequency of what you're trying to create. And then just clean the space thoroughly, change the furniture around, and literally make way for new energy. So even with your home, with your office, you need to do that often. With your shop, you have to do it often, because remember, to increase the energy of the space, whether it's your work environment, whether it's your home environment, declutter, but more importantly, just have live ornaments, have the 4 elements of nature around the house. More importantly, certain plants, and just observe the plants. When you have people come in, those plants would either thrive or not thrive. And in my case, my plant wasn't thriving because I had great people around me, hardworking, absolutely amazing. But sometimes you would find that you've reached the expiry date of whatever has brought you guys together, and that you have to just break away and everybody go and live their own path. So I had to make a really hard decision about somebody that I really enjoyed and loved daily, and I had to follow the sense of intuition that I'm double-minded about this person, and I don't like being double-minded about people, because if I'm double-minded, that means my mind is pulling one direction, my heart is pulling one direction, and I can't be warring within myself. So I have to eliminate things that create that polarity in me, because I need all the forces of energy within me to be pulling the same direction. Then I make the difficult choice. I think a day after New Year's, I basically had a conversation with the person that I think our journey, has come to an end. And it didn't make sense. It didn't make sense to anybody and whatnot. Literally, I'm not even kidding with you. I'm not even exaggerating. When I did that, guys, honestly, the leaves started growing from the bottom. The tree started replenishing itself. And it was starting slowly. Then another person who's very dear to me decided to resign and said, you know what, I'm not going to renew my contract. I'm going to go about my path. And the tree also the leaves started growing vigorously. And it's quite mystical. I swear to God, it's quite wild to experience. The tree is back. The tree is alive. I wish I'd taken a video of it when it was literally all of it like this. But I share this to say that pay attention, not just little objects. You are not crazy. This world is very magical, very mystical. And there's always different things that are trying to communicate to us about where our energy is at. You can have the best physique, you can have the best job, but if your energy is off, you're just calling different spiritual attacks upon your experience of life. You're calling bad omen upon your life. So just pause and take in your environment and make sure that you put in plants, you put in a water feature, you light a candle at times. You just have the 4 elements rolling one way or the other, good ventilation, air in the space. And this is just what I wanted to share with you. How do you make sure you have a system that can be able to communicate and give you feedback about where the energy of your space is or the energy of yourself? Just put plants. And after you put plants, just observe them. The snake plant is a very good one for also just protection and increasing the energy of the space. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that your vibrations are up after watching this and you've learned a thing or two. Leave a comment in the section below and tell me, how do you gauge the energy of your space, and how are you able to tell that fully the people around you or the space that you're in is deeply aligned for the moment in which you're trying to create with that moment, for that moment. I am Belle Sabo of Belle Sabo Consultants, and I'm not the only one. I have a beautiful, amazing team. So just if you need anything to do with wellness and branding, we are your people. We got you covered because we bring the vibrations.